With question 8, we are told at the start of June there are 1,793 toy cars in a shop, and in June 8,728 cars are delivered, and that 9,473 cars are sold. And the question is, how many cars are left at the end of June? So this is the question we need to answer. How many cars remain at the end of June? So let's start with this number, 1,793. 1,793. 8,728 are delivered. So 8,728 are delivered. So we need to add them to get the total number of cars in the shop. So let's do that. 3 add 8. That's 11. And remember, we said we cannot put 2 digits in one column. So let's get rid of that. 3 add 8 is 11. So we put the 1 down and carry the 1 over to the next column. 9 add 2 is 11. Plus the 1 we've carried over makes it 12. So we put the 2 down and carry the 1 over to the next column. 7 add 7 is 14, plus the 1 is 15. So we put the 5 down and carry the 1 over to the next column. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus the 1 we've carried over makes it 10. So we put the 0 down in this column and carry the 1 over to the next column. Because there's nothing else to do, we can put it straight down. So this is our number. As before, 1, 2, 3, comma. So this here is our thousands. So it's 10,521. So after the delivery, we have 10,521 cars. And we're told that we sold 9,473. So we need to take that away. We need to subtract that. So we need to take this number away. So it's 9,000. You have to be careful it goes in the right column. 473. So let's start with the first column. 1, take away 3. We can't do. So we go to the neighbour and borrow 1. So we cross this 2 out and it becomes a 1. And the 1 we've borrowed turns this 1 into 11. So now we have 11, take away 3. And that is 8. Next column, 1, take away 7. We can't do that. So we have to go to the neighbour and borrow 1. So 5 becomes 4. And the 1 we've borrowed turns this 1 into an 11. So here we have 11. So it's now 11, take away 7. And that is 4. Now moving on to the third column. 4, take away 4 is 0. 0, take away 9. We can't do, so we have to go to the neighbour and borrow 1. So this 1 becomes 0. And the 1 we've borrowed turns this 0 into a 10. So now we have 10, take away 9, which is 1. And we have 0, take away 0, and we can ignore that. That's done. As before, 1, 2, 3, comma. This here is our thousands. So we have 1,048 cars left at the end of June. Question 9. we're given 4 shapes that are shaded. And we're asked to tick the shapes that have 3/4 of the shape shaded. So 3/4. Another way of looking at this is out of every 4 pieces we shade 3 pieces. With this question, there's lots of ways we can do this. We can literally count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 pieces and we want 3/4. So let's do that. 3/4 of 8. And how did we do this? You write the first fraction down and the of becomes a times, and then we write this number down here, 8. So we want 3/4 of 8. And the way I like to do this, I divide the 8 by 1. So now I have 2 fractions. So what I can do is 3 times 8 and 4 times 1. You multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. So 3 times 8 is 24. And 4 times 1 is 4. Now, if you know your 4 times table, we can divide the numerator by 4 and the denominator by 4. So 24 divided by 4, and whatever you do to the top number, you have to do to the bottom number. Whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. So if I divide that by 4, I have to divide this by 4. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. And any number divided by 1 is that number. So 6 divided by 1 is 6. So now I need to go and check to see if 6 squares are shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this here is 3/4 shaded. Let's try this shape now. So we want 3/4 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 3, 6, 9. So we want 3/4 of 9. So what we do is we write down 3/4. The off becomes a times, and we bring the 9 down. As before, I like to do 9 divided by 1 because I have 2 fractions now. So I have 3/4 and 9 over 1. So 3 times 9 and 4 times 1. So 3 times 9 is 27. And I have 4 times 1, which is 4. Now, because I know my 4 times table, I know 27 will not divide by 4. So 27 divided by 4 is 6, remainder 3. And I can write this as 6 remainder 3. And because we were dividing by 4, we put the 4 at the bottom. So it's 6 3/4. So now we need to have a look. Do we have 6 3/4 shapes in there that are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7. So this shape here is not 3/4 shaded. Let's look at this shape now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we want 3/4 of 6. And as before, we write down 3/4. The off becomes a times and the 6 comes down here. we write 6 over 1 because that gives us another fraction. So now we have two fractions. And how do you multiply fractions? Straight across. So 3 times 6 is 18, and 4 times 1 is 4. How many 4s are there in 18? 4, remainder 2. And as before, we can write this as a mixed number. So 4, remainder 2. And that 4 can go to the bottom. So I can write this mixed number as 4.5. We have 1, 2, 3 shapes shaded. And this requires 4.5 shapes. So that is not 3/4 shaded. Now onto the final shape. We want 3/4 off. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we want 3/4 off 16. And as before, we do 3/4. The off becomes a times, and the 16 comes down. And what do we do with the 16? We write it as 16 over 1 as a fraction. Now that gives us 2 fractions, and that's easy to multiply because you just multiply straight across. So I'll do 16 times 3 in columns. 3 times 6 is 18. You put the 8 down and carry the 1 to the next column. So I've done this multiplication. Now I need to do 3 times 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. Plus the 1 we've carried is 4. So 16 times 3 is 48. So our top part there is 48. And 4 times 1 is 4. Now, we need to do 48 divided by 4. How many 4s are there in 48? And because I know my 4 times table, I know 48 divided by 4 is 12. So we're looking for 12 little shapes to see whether they're shaded. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's good. So we now know that this shape here is also 3/4 shaded.